I'd like to warmly welcome Mr. Nigel Evans, the Member of Parliament for Ribble Valley. Nigel, we're going to talk tourism. Does tourism mean a lot for you personally?
Yes, it does. I represent a massive constituency, and it's got a bit of manufacturing like British aerospace, vitally important. But outside of that, tourism, I would say, is the number one industry here. The Ribble Valley is made up of about 40 or so villages, each with its own distinct identity. And it also contains some wonderful pubs, some hotels,
so.
Places like Burns's Wine Shop, Cowman the Sausage Shop. I mean, we literally are blessed by the number and variety of places that we've got where people can come. And of course, we've got rolling countryside.
Beautiful.
Like Pendleton Hill over my shoulder.
Yes.
I recently did a tour around my own constituency, which lasts about 6 days. And it's breathtaking when you go into the Forest of Bowland. People in the House of Commons representing other areas know the Ribble Valley, and some of them come up to me after a weekend and say, actually, Nigel, I was in your patch over the weekend, going to the Inn at Whitewell or North Coke Manor or Gibbon Bridge.
Yes.
I mean, it is an absolute magnet for people to come to.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to look in Lancashire really as, shall we say, mill towns, cloth caps, black puddings and pigeons, but the Ribble Valley is really something else, isn't it?
Well, it's something other, because what you've just been saying maybe what was happening 50 to 100 years ago, but I mean, I don't think you'll see a stack anywhere around the Ribble Valley now.
No.
And I can't say I hear the noise of clogs either too much, but the fact is that it's you've got some villages that are actually untouched by time. If you go to Downham, for instance,
Beautiful.
not only have you got the amazing Ashton Arms,
Yeah.
but you've also, if you stand on the steps of the church and you look out, you'll see a scene there that probably hasn't changed in 100 years since you heard the clogs going and the mills working hard in Lancashire.
Yeah. Do you think we're doing very well tourism-wise in the Ribble Valley?
I think we are. I mean, I describe the Ribble Valley like the Lake District without the lakes.
Yes,
now,
yes.
And a lot of people say it's like one of these hidden gems. A lot of people don't know about it. I think we've got to bang the drum a little bit more.
I agree completely,
I want to see a lot more people coming to the Ribble Valley. It's wonderful to see the coaches that come here and people who get off at the train station, and a lot of people make their own way by car to drive around the area. But I want to just see a lot more people coming to enjoy what we've got to experience here. I love living here. I love going from village to village, and I certainly love going to some of the best pubs that we have around the country. And indeed, we're in the garden of the Swan with Two Necks, which only a couple of years ago won the accolade of the best pub in the United Kingdom, and it's still winning awards.
That's something else. And also the village of Chipping winning the Britain in Bloom Award.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad for a village taking the whole of Great Britain.
No, it's fantastic, and it's got a good couple of pubs there too.
Oh, gosh, it really has. Extremely impressed with the local produce in the Ribble Valley, such as local ciders, and also we've got our own brewery now as well, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We have got, of course, the Bowland Brewery, which is now based at Holmes Mill.
Yes.
One of our new dining and pub experiences. And it does seem to me that the person who owns that, of course, the Warburton family, have got a few other places around the area, and I don't think there's a bad one amongst them. I mean, to be honest, we've got some very, very good local chains, I would call them, who actually compete against one another.
Yeah.
But what happens, of course, is that they just draw more people into who want to come to drink at the Emporium or go to some of the other places around the area. I mean, we've got so many. I think that's part of the problem. I swear you could go to a different eatery every night, and even after a month, you wouldn't have exhausted them.
Yeah, very impressed with the food festival. That's a great venture, isn't it, really?
It's a huge success. I mean, the only criticism of it is it's too short. A lot of people have said to me they'd love to see it going into Sunday, and I hope this is something that we can look at. I mean, tens of thousands of people milling around the area. It's experiencing, as you say, the cider or the beers, and then having a look at some of the crafts that are from around the area. And of course, the food. The food is just gorgeous. And a lot of the food that the pubs and restaurants serve here, of course, are locally sourced as well, because we are surrounded by farms. You're in Pendleton, one of these 40 or so villages I spoke about, and this has just got farms all over it. And a lot of them will provide some of the meat to the local butchers and the restaurants as well.
Yeah. Nigel, I've got to ask you, 25 years as a Member of Parliament for Ribble Valley.
Coming up, yeah.
Have you got a favourite part of the valley that really means a lot to you?
I'll tell you what, after 25 years, it means you build up the experience not to answer that question,
right.
Because I know that if I say, oh, this village is one of my favourites, then I'm going to disappoint the others. The fact is, it depends what mood you're in as to which village you can go to.
Right.
And I think that, for instance, when you go to, let's say, Waddington, you've got 3 incredibly good pubs and restaurants there.
Exceptionally good, yeah.
And, of course, you've got the lovely river that's flowing through it. And they have their own duck races and scarecrow festivals. And then you might decide, well, actually, I might go to Sawley, and you can go there to see the ruins of the Abbey. You've got another fantastic restaurant and pub there, and you can gaze at that amazing new house in the distance, which is like a mini Buckingham Palace. It's fantastic. I mean, literally. And then you can cross the rivers that we all enjoy here. Go into Whalley, go to there's a wine shop there, and a number of pubs within there. There's also delicatessen within. I mean, there are just so many. So it depends what mood you're in as to where you might actually want to go. But that's the lovely thing about it. I mean, I've got one of the rare things this weekend. I fairly well have the weekend off. So I've got a friend coming, so we're going to have some pints here today.
Yes.
Tomorrow I'm going to go in and experience Ribble FM, a new radio station. They're having celebrations at the fantastic Grand Theatre that we have in Clitheroe. And then I'm going to go out to Paythorn and support a charity out there that is supported by some friends of mine, a cancer charity. I mean, it's just glorious, and I'm just praying. I mean, I just hope that the sun shines upon us. But even if it doesn't, at least I know I live in one of the best areas in the whole country. The Ribble Valley is absolutely supreme for me.
Fabulous. You know something, Nigel? If you'd not become a Member of Parliament, I think you'd have made a very, very good tour guide. Because tourism obviously means a lot to you.
Of course it does. I mean, if ever you're thinking of expanding, I'll give you my mobile number.
It'd be a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.
The fact is that the area is just so superb for me. And the fact is that over 25 years, I know a lot of people. But I tell you, when I first came here, I knew nobody. And the first thing that struck me was the warm welcome I was getting from everybody. And that was before I was the Member of Parliament. So, as you know, I went for a year living here when I was not the Member of Parliament, and people didn't know whether I would or not. But the fact is, they were hugely friendly, and I found that if I went into people's homes, or if I went into restaurants, or you went into pubs, people always had a cheery smile and a word for you and lots of recommendations. So, and that's exactly what people will find, whether they go into the large market town of Clitheroe or Longridge or Whalley, or some of the smaller towns like Chipping you've mentioned, or Hurst Green, or you could go to the very centre of the United Kingdom at Dunsop Bridge, and go to Puddle Ducks there, where you can have some fantastic homemade bread.
We had some pea and ham soup there the other day.
I mean,
it was delicious, got to say.
It is brilliant. So, I mean, the fact is that the call is there for people. If you want somewhere to come for a weekend or a day or whatever it is, you've got a massive choice. Your only problem's going to be which part of the Ribble Valley to go into.
We've covered all the villages. We're now in Pendleton. And I've got to say, Nigel, it's gorgeous. You live here.
I do.
You obviously chose Pendleton to live for obvious reasons.
I think it chose me.
It chose you,
and also, I tell you what happened was I was on one of these tours that I do around the constituency, and somebody had just bought the house next door to the pub, and they were doing it up because he and his wife were going to live there. And he showed me around the house, and I looked at the village, and I've known the village well over many years, and I just said to him, listen, if ever you're thinking of selling, here's my card. Within a month, he phoned me. Something had happened within his life that meant that he wanted to move. He gave me a call. I said, we agreed a price over the phone.
My goodness.
And what could be better than living in a gorgeous village next to the best pub in the country?
Well, I mean, it doesn't get any better, does it really?
This village chose me, Simon.
Yeah, right.
It'll take a lot to get me out of Pendleton, I've got to say.
Nigel, many years ago, Michael Portillo was on the Settle Carlisle line, and I know he loves the line very much indeed. What are your feelings towards having the line open from Clitheroe up to Carlisle on a regular basis? Do you think it will ever happen?
Well, I'll never say never. And I think that as more and more people want to use public transport, more people want to be green, I just think it would be a fantastic thing if that comes about. There's a lot of people here who want to see that
yes,
happen.
I'd love to see it.
And if it does happen, then it's going to get a lot of usage. So I do hope that this is something that, with the support from the local community, that we can get the Secretary of State for Transport to give a bit of a nudge and see if we can get that line open. And of course that means as well, Simon, that a lot more people from up there can come into the Ribble Valley.
Of course, and spend their money.
And enjoy the place.
Yes. Nigel, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you.
It's been my pleasure too.
Nigel Evans, MP for Ribble Valley.